Ahoy, my friends, Ryder here, and welcome back to another Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis video. This week, I'm going to be getting into the patch updates for the week. We're going to be looking at a new banner for Matt, which is in the most recent style that Glenn and Lucia has recently gotten. So that one looks pretty cool. We also have some other stuff going on as well. But before we get into the patch updates for the day, there are a couple things that I just wanted to briefly touch on. The first is Smelly Octopus is officially leaving Ever Crisis. He hasn't put up a video in a while, but I just wanted to, thank him. He's been the biggest Ever Crisis content creator since it came out, and honestly, I've loved his videos, and so I just appreciate everything that he did, and just wanted to say I wish you the best, my friend, with everything. And yeah, alright, so what are the other things here? Oh, for all of you guys, I don't know how many of you guys play Monster Hunter, but there's a collaboration in Monster Hunter with Final Fantasy XIV, where you have to fight basically you fight Omega Weapon, and it is a really, really, really cool fight. I've honestly been obsessed this week. It's super difficult. It took me a lot of tries, and I've been playing Monster Hunter for a lot of years. So if any of you guys play Monster Hunter or want to jump in some groups, yeah, just jump on the Discord and shoot me a DM. We got a good group of players playing. All right, other than that, couple more things. First one is I saw the trailer for the new Dissidia. Honestly, I'm a bit disappointed. I've been waiting, guys. I've been playing Final Fantasy mobile games for a very long time. Honestly, I only exclusively played Final Fantasy mobile games for a really, really long time. And I have been waiting for a Dissidia mobile game since the beginning. Since I first even touched Mobius or Record Keeper or any of those games. And I don't know, I just saw the trailer. Apparently Tetsuya Nomura is the creative producer, so hopefully there's hope. But I don't know, it didn't really strike me as really anything Dissidia oriented. It just seems like they're using the name. If you guys want me to do a trailer reaction for it, or do a specific video on it talking about it, I'm down to do that. Just let me know. Or I'm just curious to hear what your guys' thoughts were as well on that one. And the last thing I want to talk about is our alliance, the Curseborn Alliance, is currently recruiting. There is a week coming up before the next guild war. We have several guilds all recruiting. I've got a whole layout here of which guild is recruiting and what they're looking for. So I'm going to put that in the description of this video and in the pinned comment, just because I don't want to be just going through a list of all the guilds right here. But if you guys are looking for that, check the description of the video, the pinned comment, and if there's a guild in the ranking that you are looking for, we have a bunch of different guilds recruiting at the moment, so we would love to have you come join the link in the description for our Discord, and we can get you sorted. Alright guys, so those are the things I briefly wanted to touch on. Octo leaving, which is a super bummer, and then we have, obviously the collaboration with Monster Hunter, the new Dissidia, and yeah, recruitment. Alright, so that being said, let's get into the video, guys. Sorry about the little lapse there. I just want to talk about some stuff going on in my mind. I haven't been making as much videos, to be honest. I'm about to be moving to Croatia I'm leaving Cusco, Peru in the next 3 weeks. So it's been really crazy. We did the trek through the Salcantay, Machu Picchu. Now we're packing up to leave. We're going to be going home to San Diego for 6 weeks, and then Idaho for 6 weeks, and then Croatia at the end of January. So I'm going to do my best to keep videos going on, guys. I still plan on making Ever Crisis videos. I'm enjoying it, at least for the time being right now. But as for how many videos I'm going to be able to make, it is going to be a little bit tricky, but I am going to do my best, and I'll keep you guys posted if I'm planning on having to miss a week or so here or there. Alright, so it should have been 5 things I had to talk about at the beginning of the video, but it is what it is. Alright, so let's go down here. We are looking for updates from October 15th, although I will touch on the Monday update right here, which was October 13th, which basically says that the guild ranking number 16, Guild War, is going to start on October 22nd, so 1 week from today, and it will be Magic Earth. Alright, so, and it is going to be interesting considering Matt's new banner, which we'll take a look at here in a second. So we have a new chapter release campaign on now. I love the blue crystals. Honestly, Ever Crisis is like an extremely generous game when it comes to giving away blue crystals. They give away so many things. The problem is that there's so many weapons in the game, and it's just like the onslaught of limited paired with the very scarce featured banners. It's just a whole thing. So it's very free-to-play friendly in the sense they give a lot of crystals, but where it actually goes to is kind of like, you know, can sometimes get lost along the way. All right, here. So we have new chapter release missions, clear missions to get up to draw ticket times 190. All right, so that's pretty good. Log in during the period to get blue crystals times 1,000. A Sephiroth 5-star weapon guaranteed draw ticket and more. So that's young Sephiroth. Looks like there's Angeal there as well. Let's see here. So it looks like we have areas added to the Chocobo Expedition. That's fun. So we got Coral Prison 1, Coral Prison 2, and Coral 2 have been added to the Chocobo Expedition area. So hopefully we get some nice rewards from that. Critical Threat Reawakened, Eligor Hunt on now. Alright, so honestly the Eligor has always been one of my, you know, more favorite hunts. I like the Eligor. What I really wish they would do is, because we keep on having to fight so many of these same bosses over and over, and I'm not gonna lie guys, like, you know, I feel like the fatigue of the game sometimes. I can feel where Octo is coming from. I watched his video. But the thing is, when I'm actually in a battle in Ever Crisis, when I'm in the actual battle, I love the game. I think it's great. I have a lot of fun with the game. It's basically everything outside the battles where I have a little bit of a problem. But if we're going to be fighting so much of the same content over and over, one thing that I feel like would be great is if they added more party slots. Like if I could have a slot for every boss in the game that we've fought, so I don't have to remake my team every single time, I feel like that would be so much better if they're like, okay guys, we're owning the fact that we're gonna make you refight the same bosses over and over, but sometimes we'll give them a different color, but they are the same. But yeah, just give us more party slots. I feel like that would, you know, at least make it easier on everyone. Alright, so here's the new banner matte featured weapon on now. Honestly, I'm loving the vibe of the whole, like, the Glenn Lucia thing. One of you guys left a comment saying it's, like, Mad Max themed, and I totally agree with that. I feel like they've got a total Mad Max vibe going on, and I'm here for it. As they changed it now, so we can't see in the actual stuff the weapon, but I'll go over and check it out because I will be doing a banner review in this video as well. Then we have the red crystals only matte featured draw on now. I'm not even going to look at that because, I don't know, I just don't think... I think for most people, most players are probably not dropping the red crystals on something like this. So yeah, we're just going to skip through that. And we have new chapter, Final Fantasy VII, The First Soldier, Episode 2, Chapters 5 and 6. Alright, let's see here. Alright, so the Supreme Trial and Chapter 6, Masamune, have been released. Alright, so there's 2 new chapters that are actually out right now, which is pretty cool. Alright, so hopefully we're getting... I wonder how long we're going to get. I wonder how many chapters First Soldier will actually come out to be in the end. Alright, so we'll take a quick look at the shop, see if there's anything unexpected or new. Doesn't look like we have anything new here, just some different map parts and different bundles right here. Alright, so let's go over and let's start the actual banner review part of this video. We'll do a 10 draw right here, hopefully get some good stuff. Honestly, I feel like in terms of getting old weapons, the game is super generous with stuff like that. I have so many freaking tickets, guys. If you're a day one player, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's really just keeping up with the new stuff that's coming out that is tougher, I think, for sure. Especially with everything getting, like, as niche as it is and so much more specific. Like, we just got a Memoria that, like, I gotta show you guys. Did you guys look at the First Soldier Memoria? It has like plus damage to quadrupods on it or something like that. Let's go. Let's take a quick detour over here and look at this really quick. Abilities. All right. What is this shit, guys? Like, are they off their rocker with this right now? I cannot believe this. What are we going to get next? Like ghosts and then plus physical ability damage to bombs? Like they're trying to just like fracture and split the amount of buffs and abilities they can give us into like every frickin' creative thing imaginable. I feel like this is a step too far though. Like, what is this? Like a quadruped? Like, I'm not going into a battle being like, okay, is this a freaking quadruped right now, or like, is this a ghost? What if it's a ghost quadruped? Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, I think it's a bit over the top, I'm not gonna lie. Alright, so let's go over here. Let's check out this banner. First things first, let's check out the animation. I know he's a healer, but... Oh, backflip into the heal? I like it. I like it. I'm down for that. Alright, let's go in here. Let's check out his costume. Alright, so here's Matt's new costume. Super cool. Just as a prerequisite to this, guys, I think that, at this point in time in the game, here, before I go into this, I'll just give you guys a brief overview of my own perspective on everything that's going on with the game. I think at this point in time in the game, if you are not like actively spending money, it's probably a good time to choose like favorite characters and start building those favorite characters. Like, I think that most of the time you can make teams work even if you don't have necessarily the meta character for that build. It won't always work, but most of the time I would say it would. So I think choosing characters that you have ultimate weapons for is important. Like, for example, I missed Matt's ultimate weapon, so I'm far less likely to pull on any of his banners just because I feel like the ultimate weapons are so prevalent in these builds that not having one can really be super hindering in a fight. Like, a lot of people learned that with the Princess Guard when that first came out, and then the Ifrit fight came out, and you could kind of cheese it with the sigils and stuff like that. So, and especially with like there's so many limited banners we already have in the rest of the year, and it's already coming to a close. We have 2 more limited collaboration events going on. It'll be Final Fantasy 13, where Tifa and Aerith got the exact same costume from what I've seen so far. And then we have a Nier collaboration in December. I'm hoping they do something like the Ever Crisis Academy thing for Nier because it's Christmas, but at this point, who knows with Applebot? I feel like they just kind of like threw in the towel and gave up, and they're just like set their mind in motion for doing whatever they're gonna do, and I just don't think they care anymore. But the costume itself looks really good. But yeah, I would say that if you're not a Matt main, if you don't have Matt's ultimate weapon, it's like almost for sure a guaranteed skip. Obviously, we can wishlist a lot of these weapons. This one's pretty niche. We'll get to it here in a second. But yeah, for me, this is a really easy skip banner. So I just wanted to let you guys know before I talk about the whole thing. But I will say that this could be very, very impactful in the coming Guild War. It has lightning and wind resistance, as you guys will see on the sword, or lightning and, yeah, I think it's lightning and wind resistance. And so depending on how important that is for the coming Guild War battle, it could be very important. Then for the Guild War, it could be super strong. But other than that, like, there's not a physical magic there's not a physical or magic defense buff on this. So we have so many buffs now across the team, but we only have 6 weapons across the team. If you include ultimate weapons, that's 9. But I would say that we're getting to the point where I could see them having to add a 3rd weapon to the lineup, just so that we can keep up with everything that's going on, because most of the time it's getting very hard to slot all of this stuff and get all of these buffs. So even if you do have it, I feel like, it's hard to say how like absolutely imperative it is to have it. I think unless you're going for the hardest content in the game, it's not going to be. So, alright, so let's check this out. Honestly, the costume looks pretty sick. I'm digging the vibe. I like the hat. I'm not sure about like the cutoff like shirt thing. They always keep doing this with the dudes. I just feel like it doesn't really make sense. Like, he's in the military, but yet this looks slightly like fashionable. Like, he was like, all right, guys, go into battle today. We're going to go kill some mother effers, right? But hold on, let me just like get my shirt tucked down, get it looking all good. Okay, and then Glenn's over there in the corner like with his eyebrow raised, right? So yeah, so it just feels a little bit unrealistic when it comes to that. Like, these guys are like professional grade military soldiers. But other than that, I think it looks pretty cool. I like the pants, I like the belt, I like the boots, I like the sword, I like the kind of half cloak going on. I like how it comes up into a high collar right here. The hat is a nice touch, and then he's got the gun in the offhand and the sword, which is one of my favorite things about Matt, the gun and sword. He's kind of got like that pirate vibe going on. Now let's take a look at the costume itself. So this is going to boost defense to all allies. It is physical and magic, 15 points, so it's 10% across the board defense boost. That's pretty good. Then we get Tactician's Gambit. When granting physical attack up, maximum potency tier +1. So that's going to work very well with this weapon. And this weapon gives a physical attack boost up to the team, right? So as for the costume itself, it is definitely good. It's not as all around. It's going to be something that you would use when you're using this weapon for sure to get that extra tier up. Is it something that you absolutely need across the board? I don't think it is. It will definitely have its moments where Matt is like the meta player in the team, but I don't think that it's going to make it or break it if you don't have this costume. I think that there are other costumes in Matt's kit that can serve and hold up just fine. But overall, I would say this costume is like a 7.5 out of 10, something like that. Aesthetically, maybe a little bit higher, like an 8. Now let's take a look at the Desperado Rapier right here. So this is at OB1. It is a magic-based weapon, so we have 313 magic attack base. It is going to cast a heal to all allies while increasing lightning and wind resist. At OB1, the potency will be low to mid, so that's solid. Alright, it's not anymore that low to low crap we were getting there for like 4 months where it was like really brutal. Alright, and then we have when HP is 70% or more, physical attack is increased, also low to mid. This is actually a lot more, you know, like new player friendly, and also like not going past the first stamp card friendly, because, you know, it's still going to be usable at OB1 since these tier buffs can hit mid. Not going to be as good, obviously. OB6 is going to be like the true unlock for the weapon, but it is nice to see that you can basically unlock the entire kit of the weapon with just having a single copy of it. So that is nice. At that point, you just have to decide whether or not you want the costume, but this is definitely going to be a weapon that I wish list in the future. As for the R abilities, we have HP over heal, and then we have attack boost, heal boost, and circle sigil boost right here. Okay, so it does have the single target heal slot for the support ability, which is always nice on these AoE weapons. Alright, now taking it to OB6, magic, I guess we don't need to look at the magic attack, we would look at the healing, right? So healing is going to be 314. Alright, the potency will go up to 54% on the healing to all allies, and like we figured, the tier boosts will go from mid to high, mid to high, mid to high on all 3 of them. Alright, then we have at OB6, HP 54 over 30 on HP and heal, which is nice. And then let's take it up to OB10. Alright, so 333 healing right here. It goes up to 59% of healing potency to all allies. It does stay mid to high. It does not change on the maximum tier potencies even at OB10, which is good. So which means once you get this to OB6, you're going to have quite a nice defensive boosting weapon in your kit, which is also going to give you HP on the heal, plus it gives you the physical attack boost, and if you have the costume, it's going to give you the extra tier boost. So with 2 casts of this, you will get the 4 tier physical attack. The problem is that this is a 5 ATB cast, and you know he's not going to be casting this back to back. So that's the thing with this, is that you're likely going to heal this once, and then you're going to get the mid tier buff. That's going to last 30 seconds. So you will likely come across certain situations where you're going to have to cast this twice in order to get the maximum potency out of it, unless the other characters are already starting with a physical attack boost, in which case he can take them to the higher tier, but these resistances are not going to have that boon. None of the characters are going to have innate lightning or wind resistance, and so that max tier buff is going to be needed with a double cast on that, which is going to be pretty hard to get 10 ATB. So I would say that is like kind of the weakness of this weapon. Obviously it has a lot of stuff going on, so 4 ATB would have been super OP, so I understand the 5, but it does come with its drawbacks. So just keep that in mind when you guys are going for this weapon. So anyways guys, that is going to conclude my video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope I didn't talk too much at the beginning. One more last thank you to Smelly Octopus and everything he has done for Ever Crisis. Thank you so much, my friend. I wish you the best. And yeah, if you guys are looking for a guild for the upcoming Guild War, like I said, check the description and the pinned comment for information on the guilds that are recruiting. If you guys enjoyed this video today, please don't forget to drop a like, subscribe to the channel for more Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis content. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.